Hey guys, welcome back to my channel AG Motion Designs, and in today's video we are going to learn how to create this LinkedIn logo animation inside of Adobe After Effects with the help of Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. So first thing first, here we are in Photoshop. So I have this LinkedIn logo over here. You can easily download this logo from the internet. So yep, this is our logo. Now we need to separate each and everything on the separate layer. So I'm going to select this one, hit Ctrl X, new layer, press Ctrl Shift V, then we will hide it. Select this dot, hit Ctrl X, new layer, press Ctrl Shift V, hide it. Then we will follow the procedure for all the alphabets. Now we will choose our pen tool, so simply hit P and we will select this selection. Hit Ctrl Z, hit Ctrl Enter, Ctrl X, new layer, press Ctrl Shift V and hide it. Select this, choose pen tool, hit Ctrl Enter, Ctrl X, new layer, press Ctrl Shift V and hide it. Now select our rectangle selection tool again and we will select this, hit Ctrl X, new layer and press Ctrl Shift V and we will hide it. Now we have to separate this I and N from this background. So for that, what we will do, I'm gonna select this one and I'm gonna hit Ctrl J to duplicate it. Now hide this one, select this and go to the selection and we will choose color range and I'm going to select this thing. Let's fuzziness, let's say 80 and hit OK and simply delete it and hit Ctrl T. Now after that, I'm going to select this one and hit Ctrl X, new layer, press Ctrl Shift V, hide it. Select this one, Ctrl X, new layer, press Ctrl Shift V and hide it. Select this one, Ctrl X, new layer, press Ctrl Shift V, hide it. Delete this layer. Select this, hold Ctrl, then press I to choose this picker and select this picker and Alt backspace, so it will apply this color on this one. And now hit Ctrl D. And now if you see, all the things are on separate layer. Now save this file in your PC. Now we will jump to Adobe Illustrator. Now as you can see, we have this logo. I'm going to import this logo in Illustrator just for the reference. Let's decrease the size of it like that. Now we have to create some illustrations, so create a new layer. I'm going to select my rectangle tool and let's create one rectangle like that. I don't want any stroke, so delete the stroke, and from color, with the help of this picker, I'm going to choose this color. Press A on keyboard and make this corner circular like that. Now press V for selection. Select this, hit Ctrl C, create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place and let's hide it. Now press P for pen tool and from here to here, then from here to here to here, I'm going to create one shape and let's change the color of this one, something like that. Now click on this icon to select all of them and now press Ctrl Shift M, Shift M to select this shape builder tool and click on this one and hold Alt and click on it, also Alt and click on it so we can delete this. So we will get this kind of shape and we will enable this layer again. Now we will select this shape and we will give this lighter color, something like that, so we'll get this kind of stuff. Now after that, we will select this one, hit Ctrl C to copy. In middle of these two, I'm going to create another layer and press Ctrl Shift V and let's hide this one for now. And for this one, I'm going to select the darker version of it. or even more darker version. like that. Now I'm going to name these layers. Let's call this bag, this one BG, and this one let's say up. Yeah, now we will select this up again, or before that we will select this rectangle and we will create one rectangular shape over here. A, to select this, direct selection tool A, shortcut key, and again make this circular, and for this one I'm going to choose yellow color so it will look like a badge. Yep, now as you can see, this one and this one is on same layer. Select this one, press E. By holding Alt Shift I'm going to decrease the size of it. Let's move this over here like that. Now what we'll do, I'm going to select this tool again. Let's make something shape like that. Press I. With the help of this picker I'm going to choose this color. Press A and select this corners only and decrease the size of it like that. Select this, hit Ctrl C and press Ctrl Shift V again and I'm going to select this white color, then press E. By holding Alt Shift, let's reduce the size of it and I'm going to move this over here. Now select all the layers and I'm going to select my shape builder tool and Alt, and I'm going to select this area so to delete it. Now select this and this is our handle, so hit Ctrl X and I'm going to create one layer over here and press Ctrl Shift V. I'm going to call this as handle. Hit Ctrl 0. So as you can see, we have successfully created one bag over here. Oh, quite a tough for me because I'm not a illustrator person. And now I'm going to select all this, hit Ctrl C, go create one new layer and press Ctrl Shift V, and by holding Shift we will drag this over here. And now at this point I don't want this, and let's say this also. Now we will create something like rectangle maybe, and we will create one rectangle. We will choose white color for this, but not fully white, a little bit gray gonna work. Yeah, now after that again choose a rectangle and let's create this kind of lines. And now we will choose complete, not complete but little bit black. Select this, hold Alt, and by holding Shift create a duplicate. Now press Ctrl D again and again to duplicate it like that. Select this, hit Ctrl X over here, create new layer, press Ctrl Shift V, and let's hide it. Now select all these things and let's decrease the black value like that. Yeah, now select all of them, hit Ctrl X. I'm going to create a new layer, press Ctrl Shift V, and let's call this thing as paper. Now hit Ctrl G to make this in a group, and by holding Shift let's decrease the size. I think we don't need this thing, we can adjust it over here also. We will move this over here, and I think we need to move this over here like that. Yeah, this looks good to me. Hit Ctrl C, create another layer, press Ctrl Shift V, and move this over here like this. Hit Ctrl C, Ctrl Shift V, and move this like over here. Ctrl X and move this on the new layer, and this one should be at the top. Let's hide this and see how does it looks. Yeah, so all the illustrations are done and our logo is also done in Photoshop. Now what we need to do, we need to animate in After Effects, but before that I'm gonna delete that. Let's delete the extra layers and let's revise again that we have created all the essential stuff or not. hit Ctrl A to select all of that, bring it over here. So as you can see, the handle is on the separate layer, then this BG of this bag is on the separate layer, then this BG is on the separate layer. We have 3 papers and one this folder opening on the separate layer, which is, and the name is quite different for easy understanding. Yeah, now we will save this file, and now we will move on to our main stuff, which is animation portion. So let's go to the animation portion, go to the After Effects, let's create a new composition. Let's call this as main animation. Width is 1920, height is 180, framelets let's make it 30, and background color white color. Hit OK, hit OK, choose grid and guide option and hit title section. Now hit Ctrl I on my keyboard. I am going to create import this Illustrator file first, because we need to animate that folder initially. So select this, go to the footage, composition, return layers and sizes, and simply hit import and bring it down over here. Let's open this composition. Now this is my handle and this is my back. I'll move this back over here, select all the stuff and make it a parent with this back, because this is gonna be our main animation portion. Press S for scaling option and scale it at appropriate size, and I'm gonna move this over here. Now we have this papers stuff. I'm going to select those, press Ctrl Shift C and let's call this as papers, and hit OK. Press F4, hit Ctrl A to select all of them, and make sure that you are going to check out this option. Go inside this papers, also check out these options. Now what we'll do over here, you will get this BG option. Let's hide this up for now, this BG. So now I'm going to enable my papers, go to the effect and presets panel and search for set matte effect, click on it, and over here click on this BG. So as you can see, my papers are over here. If you want, then you can increase it over here also, but we are not going to do that. So I want this much papers also. Let's move them down or let's not change the position, and this is my up. Now press Y on my keyboard and I'll move this over here. Y is a shortcut key for pen behind tool. Now if you hit S and unlink this, as you can see, we can create something like this. So now what we will do, we will start to animate our stuff. Now select this BG and by holding Ctrl, I'm going to snap this anchor point over here. Press S, let's make the scale to 60 maybe, and press Ctrl K and let's make this white background. Now select this back, press P, let's create one keyframe over here and go to around, let's say 20 frames, and again create another keyframe, right click and move this over here. Now select those keyframes, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift, move this over here and move this over here. We will get this kind of falling animation. Now after the fall it will jump again, so go few frames forward, again create another keyframe, and in middle of it let's move this at the top. Sorry, not this up but this. Select those keyframe, go to the graph editor, select this graph, move this over here and move this over here like that. So if you see, we'll get this kind of stuff. Now after that we have to animate the scale also. So select this back, press S, unlink this, create one keyframe, hit U, go over here, let's make it something like that and something like that. Go over here, let's make it 120 and let's make it 60, not 120, let's say 80. Select those keyframe and hit F9, and at this point let's make it 80. Let's move this keyframe over here, and at this point again create another keyframe. At this point let's move it like that, and again let's make it 60. Let's see, move this keyframe over here, So if you see now, our animation will look something like this. I think we need to move this over here. Yep. Now after, go to the 15 frame, create one keyframe over here, go over here, let's decrease and increase the scale. And now at this point, let's make it 60, let's make it 70, and at this point let's make it 60 again. So if you see, you get something like this. Let's move this keyframe over here. Yep, this looks good. Now at this point, I am going to select this up, create one keyframe and go over here, move this keyframe over here, and at this point it should be -100, like that. Now select this, press P, create one keyframe, hit U, go over here, and let's move this over here. Select this papers and let's not over here, let's move this papers downwards a little bit, like that. Select those keyframes and hit F9. You'll get something like this. Oops, we have to select these papers and make it apparent with this bag also, otherwise it will change the position always. Now select these papers, double click on it, and at this point create, or instead of, you can go over here, press P, create one keyframe, and at this point again create another keyframe. At this point let's move it downwards. Select those, hit F9, go to the graph editors, select this graph, and by holding shift move this over here. Select those keyframes, let's move this over here, and let's see, let's move this a little bit longer. Let's see. Yep. Now select all the layers and make sure that you are going to enable this motion blur. Now select this bag, press S. Now go over here and let's decrease this size like this and like this, and go over here, select this up, scale it down, and let's make it 100 again. Select those keyframe and hit F9, and I think we need to move this keyframe over here. Now after this, hit U and select all the extra stuff, press T, create one keyframe over here, go forward, and let's make it 0, so it will disappear like that. Select the opacity and move those keyframes over here. Now select this bag, and at this point let's make it 100, and let's make it 60, and at this point let's make this 60 also. Now select those keyframe, hit F9, and now we will adjust the graph editor of it, and check out this option again, and from this let's move this handles over here, and select this and this handles over here. Yep. Unlink this again, and let's increase the size of it up to 70. So if you see now, we will get this bounce thing over here. Now we need to import our Photoshop file. Select this PSD file, go to the import as, composition, rate and layers and sizes, and simply hit import. Don't change anything. Double click on this, hit Ctrl A to select all, hit Ctrl C to copy, go over here and hit Ctrl V, and as you can see all the things are here. Create one null object by right clicking new and null object. Select all the PSD layers and make it apparent with this null one. Select this null one, press S, and we will adjust this with this. So I'm going to move this over here like that. Now after the adjustments like that, we don't need this null object, so delete it. And we don't need this background also, like check out this. Yeah, we don't need that also. Now select all the PSD layers and move this over here like that, and let's hide it for now. Now as you can see, from this point we want them to be animated, so I'll move them all over here. Let's move a portion over here, and now we will animate those stuffs. So first is L and all those things. Now select all these things first, select those, press P, right click and make separate dimensions for all of them. Sorry for the background noise. Now select all the layers, create one keyframe on X position, one keyframe on Y position, and go to around 4.20 frames. Again create another keyframe and one keyframe. Now go over at the starting point and we will select all, and we will change the first. Let's select this one, and where it is, yeah, let's move it over here. Oh, we haven't created keyframes for this one, sorry for that. Yeah, now select this L and move this over here, so we'll get this kind of stuff. Now select the X position keyframe of this L, hit Ctrl C, and now select all of them and hit Ctrl V. And for this point I want all this, and they will jump, so in middle of that change the Y position of each and every one. Now what we will do, we will select all the keyframes but only Y position. So select Y position keyframes and hit F9, hit F9, hit F9, hit F9. Now select only Y position keyframe by holding Ctrl. I am going to click on this text called Y position, so it will automatically select the Y position keyframes. Now we have to adjust the graph editor of it, so go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift, move this handle over here, by holding shift move this handle over here, select this by holding shift, move this handle over here, select this by holding shift, move this handle over here. Now at this point go few frame forwards and again create one keyframe on Y position in middle of it. Let's move them a little bit up so it will look like a bouncing. Now again select the Y position of each and every one, or instead of that we don't need much more bounce, so select all those keyframes by holding Alt, reduce the distance and move them over here like that. Now as you can see the animation is quite long, so select all the keyframes by holding Alt, adjust it up to here. Now press R for rotation, create one keyframe, hit U, go to around this and create one complete rotation. Now press R again so we can see only our rotation keyframe. Select all the keyframes, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph and by holding shift move this handle over here and this handle over here, so you will get the rotation animation also. Now this is for what we call LinkedIn text. Now we have two text also. It is this white text. We don't need to animate much for that, so move them over here, press P, create one keyframe, and at this point again create another keyframe, go over here and bring them downwards. Now select those keyframe, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift. I'm gonna move them over here and we will adjust them randomly, so it will come after another, or I think we need to adjust them like that, like this. Yeah. Now as you can see, we have created this one. So select all of them, press S, create one keyframe, go few frame forwards, create another keyframe, go to the start and let's make it 0. Select those keyframes and hit F9. Now hit page down button one time, move this over here again, move this over here, like that. Or what you can do, select this, move this over here, hit page down button. I think we need to start from the top, so L should become first and then remaining. Or you can select this thing and you can bring it a little bit after all of these animations. Yeah, now these things are also done. Now select this 3 and press Ctrl Shift C. I'll call this as IN and hit OK. Choose set matte and I'm going to choose this for back, like that, so it will create a mask for. So if you see this animation from the start, we have animated this thing first and then we have animated this thing first. Now bring all those things, hit U, select all the PSD layers and bring it at the back, and make sure that you are enabling this motion blur option, like that. Now we will go to our main animation and now we have to adjust the position of it. Now as you can see from this point, not from this but from this point, they are going to animate the text. So press P, create one keyframe over here, and at this point we have to move this at the center. So select those keyframes and hit F9. So now we'll get something like this. Now go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift, move this over here and move this over here. So let's see. Yeah. So if you see this animation now, you will get this kind of stuff. I think this is not at the center, so let's move this a little bit over here. Yeah. Now right click new and create one null object. Select this, hit Ctrl D, make it parent with this null. Select this null, press S, unlink this and let's make it -100. Press P for position, bring it down. Select this, press T and let's decrease the opacity a little bit, like that. Select this, choose our rectangle and create one mask and go to the mask feathers, like that. Select this, go to the effect and presets panel and search for blur effect. You can apply any blur. I'm going to apply Gaussian blur and increase some blurriness, like that. Hit U. So if you see this animation now, we will get this kind of animation. Now you can delete this. Now select all of them, press Ctrl Shift C and I'll call this as logo. Hit OK. Right click and we'll go to the layer styles and we will choose bevel emboss. Go to the bevel emboss and increase the size, increase the softness, and for the color I'm going to choose blue color like that. And for this one I'm going to choose a darker version of this blue, and let's increase the softness and increase the size of it also. And if you see, you will get this kind of stuff. So yep, this is my final animation of LinkedIn logo with the help of Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, then please consider to subscribe this channel and also hit the bell icon to get more updates. Until then, stay tuned.